In this session, we will study liberalization, privatization, and globalization and appraisal. Introduction. Till now, we have studied that India followed the mixed economy approach, that is, some socialist and capitalist economic system. India has been able to see the growth in savings and developed a diversified industrial sector in the 40 years from 1950 to 1990, and a sound agriculture output which ensured food security. But in 1991, India met with an economic crisis relating to its external debt. The government was not able to make repayments on its borrowings from abroad, which is called foreign exchange reserves. So to meet this foreign exchange reserve, India attempted the economic reforms which is called liberalization, privatization, and globalization. Background of these reforms can be seen in from the 1980s. We know that for implementing various policies and its general administration, the government generates funds from taxation and public sector enterprises, but these also failed to generate enough revenue, so that country was unable to fight with and poverty and unemployment. The continued spending on development programs, the government did not generate additional revenue. When the government was spending a large share of its income, so we see that there was very low revenue left with the government, and if that was not spent highly efficiently manner, then it was a loss to the foreign exchange. So there was not even revenue for left for a fortnight, and during that India was however spending all these in consumption needs, all these revenue in consumption needs. And there, now what India did was to approach the international bank, the World Bank, and the International Monetary Fund, and availed a loan of $7 billion. And to pay this loan back, the companies took that India has to liberalize and privatize its some sector, so that it could pay the loan, so India agreed to these conditionalities of World Bank and IMF, and announced the new economic policies. Under these new economic policies, there were two sets: the first, stabilization measures, and the second, structural reform measures. Stabilization measures are short-term measures intended to correct some of the weaknesses that have developed in the balance of payment and to bring inflation under control. Now, what was structural reforms? Structural reforms are long-term measures aimed at improving the efficiency of the economy and increasing its internal competitiveness by removing the rigidities in various segments of Indian economy. So, the structural reforms are liberalization, privatization, and globalization. It was a long-term measures. So, what is liberalization? So, liberalization is the hindrance of growth and development is the economic policies which India adopted since independence. So the liberalization aims to restrict and open various sectors of the economy. The need was to liberalize the trade export import policies. So what were these policies? These policies were: private sector was not allowed in many industries, some goods could be produced only in small scale industries, and controls on price fixation and distribution of selected industrial products. So these were the restrictions on the export and import. The 1991 removed many of these restrictions. Industrial licensing was abolished for almost all products, including alcohol, cigarettes, hazardous chemicals, industrial explosive, electronics, aerospace, and drugs and pharmaceuticals. The only industries which are now reserved for the public sector are a part of defense equipment, atomic energy generation, and the railway transport. Financial sector reforms. So what were the reforms in financial sector was the stock exchange market and the RBI. We know that the financial sector in India is regulated by the Reserve Bank of India. So at that time Reserve Bank of India was given many instructions, and all the instructions had to be qualified by the banks, but the RBI was reduced. The RBI's role in the private sector reduced the role of RBI from regulator to facilitator of financial sector. This means that the financial sector may be allowed to take decisions on many matters without consulting the RBI. Amount of money that the bankers can keep with themselves, fixed rate interest, nature of lending to various sectors were the key work of the RBI. But now it reduced to the role of RBI from regulator to facilitator of financial sector. This means that the financial sector may be allowed to take decisions on many matters without consulting the RBI. So this led to the establishment of private sector banks and freedom to set up new branches without approval of RBI and rationalize their existing branch networks. What were the foreign institutional investors such as merchant bankers, mutual funds, and pension funds are now allowed to invest in Indian financial markets. India also moved for tax reforms. These reforms are what is fiscal policy. The fiscal policy is the reforms in the government taxation and public expenditure policies. There are two types of taxes: direct taxes and indirect taxes. The rate of corporation tax was very high earlier and had been gradually reduced. Efforts have also been made to reform the indirect taxes. Taxes levied on the commodities in order to facilitate the establishment of common national markets for goods and commodities. There was a need for one tax, one nation, one tax, and one market, which is utilized through the goods and services tax, which was to be taken effect from July 2017. Foreign exchange reforms. The first important reforms in the external sector was made in the foreign exchange market. What it do now that the rupee was revalued against foreign currencies. This led to increase in inflow of foreign exchange. That we know that there was a government control over the foreign exchange reforms. Now more often than not, markets determine exchange rates based on demand and supply of foreign exchange rather than the government control over it. The trade policy reforms aimed at dismantling of quantitative restriction on imports and exports, restriction on tariff rates, and removal of licensing procedures for imports. Import licensing was abolished except in case of hazardous and environmentally sensitive industries. What is privatization? It implies ceding of the ownership or management of a government-owned enterprises. Means the government has to leave the market for those government-owned enterprises. It can be done in two ways: by the withdrawal from the ownership and management of the public sector, and by outright sale of public sector companies. Privatization of the public sector enterprises by selling of part of the equity of PSEs to the public is known as disinvestment. The purpose of sale, according to government, was mainly to improve financial discipline and facilitate modernization. It was also envisaged that private capital and managerial capability could effectively be utilized to improve the performance of PSUs. Government identifies PSEs and declared them Maharatnas, Navratnas, and Mini Ratnas, and these were sold to mobilize the economy. Of late, government has decided to retain them in public sector and enable them to expand themselves in the global markets and raise resources by themselves from financial markets. So under this privatization, they were sold off from the market to the private companies, and they have to manage their own resources and global markets from their role only, and government was exempted from any role from the economy. Globalization. Globalization means integration of the economy of the country with the world economy. It is a complex phenomenon, but it happened with the liberalization and privatization. Globalization was the impact of liberalization and privatization. And outsourcing, this is one of the important outcomes of the globalization process. In outsourcing, a company hires regular services from external sources, mostly from other countries, and it helps in employment generation, that the company could work from anywhere, and this with the help of modern telecommunication links, including the internet, the text, voice, and visual data in respect of these services digitized and transmitted in real time over continents, and companies could work 24 into 7 with these companies are BPO, and they are able to avail at cheaper cost with reasonable degree of skill and accuracy. World Trade Organization. The World Trade Organization was founded in 1995 as the successor organization to the General Agreement on Trade and Tariff. GATT was established in 1948 with 23 countries as the Global Trade Organization to administer multilateral trade. So the result of this liberalization, privatization, and globalization was seen in growth and employment. The generated enough this generated sufficient employment opportunities in the country, and there was a growth in industrial sector and services sector. There were reforms in agriculture, but agriculture products have reduced because it has fallen from the reform period, and the fertilizer subsidy was also increased, so that the cost of production was high. The common market faced international competition, so that the farmers moved from cash crops to food grains, so there was not much improvement in the agriculture sector. Also the reforms in industrial, it also recorded a slowdown. Various imports and inadequate investment in infrastructure was removed. In a globalized world, developing countries were to greater flow of goods and capital from developed countries, and rendering their industry vulnerable to imported goods. Cheaper imports have thus replaced the demand for domestic goods. Domestic manufacturers are facing competition from imports, and so this also does not help. And as the international competition grew, these small industries all lacked the disinvestment. The conclusion. The process of globalization through liberalization and privatization policies has produced positive as well as negative impacts. Globalization should be seen as the opportunity in terms of greater access to global markets, but it also slowed down the indigenous industries, and it has increased the income and quality of consumption. And the negative aspect of this liberalization, privatization, globalization is it has increased the income and quality of consumption of only high income groups, and growth has been concentrated only in some selected areas in the service sector, such as telecommunication, information technology, finance, entertainment, travel, and hospitality, rather than any improvement in agriculture and industry, which provide livelihood to millions of people in the country. Thank you.